Chris Cook. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
Very good, very good. How about you guys?
We're doing well. Very well. We can't stop talking about the fires in California.
Do you have any clients down there?
I do not. We do not. No.
You know what's interesting is I looked this up today. In California, state law states that insurance companies must pay policyholders 1/3 of the estimated value of their belongings and a minimum of 4 months' rent in the event they are completely displaced. Well, you've got hundreds of thousands displaced. What is that doing to insurance companies if they are forced to pay that 1/3? Because like 1/3 of contents of some of these California houses, let's just call it $500,000.
Yeah. No, that's going to be an interesting time or occurrence to read about here in the coming months, coming years. I mean, what's going on? I mean, they're paying out jillions and jillions of dollars, unfortunately. But you know, I think even in Michigan we have those same coverages on every home policy. But no, it's going to be interesting. I mean, there's not a lot of insurance companies that are writing in, like, say, Florida and in California, and for this very reason. And those that are not happy right now. I mean, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And hopefully things turn out okay for that. But there's been a lot of talks about what's going on out there. So,
yeah, it's interesting to kind of follow from Michigan, and I am glad to be in Michigan when we see all these major events across the country.
Yeah.
So we don't see too many of them here. You're telling me roofs are going to be a hot topic this year.
Yes, they are, and they have been. I think I think the last time we talked, we talked about cutting the tree limbs away from your roof and stuff like that, and the weather-related things that we've been happening. I think roofs are a big problem I would say problem, but it's a coverage that the insurance companies have. Everyone has that, and if there's damage, to your roofs because of weather, they're paying out a lot. So I think, the last few years they've paid out a lot. They're all looking at different ways that they can mitigate their losses. And I think the tough part is for them is, let's say you've got a 20 or 30-year-old roof, and right now a lot of people in Michigan have a replacement cost on their roof. So the insurance company is paying for a new roof, and they probably don't like it. I mean, it's a coverage that's offered, but I think they're looking at things. That's just one example, but I mean, even hail damage on a new roof, right? I mean, they're looking at things a lot closer. They have been. If any insurance agent out there, I'm sure any company is looking a lot closer. So it's important to know what coverage you have, really.
Well, that's the thing. You think you have your house insured, and then you go to file a claim and say, "Oh, you didn't have the roof rider." Is it that specific that you have to have that coverage specifically for that roof?
I don't think in the state of Michigan. I think other states have. I think each state has their different coverages, but there's coverage for every roof. But I think what they are changing now is, do you have a replacement cost? Or some of them are going to like a formula that says, hey, if you do have a 20-year-old roof, we're paying you X. Or you may have what they call its actual cash value, where if your roof is, again, 10, 15 years old, they're going to say, we're going to depreciate the age of the roof. And it's more like the claims paid out on a vehicle, and everybody's used to. I kind of like it because there's a lot of gray area in these roof claims and any claim. But with a car, you total out your car's worth $4,000. They're going to give you a check for $4,000. And with a roof, it's super important. I'm trying to tell people, like, hey, if you get a new roof, notify your insurance agent. Definitely let them know because they're giving bigger discounts out for newer roofs, but it's super important to have that documentation to say, do you have the paid receipt, or do you have the receipt to say, hey, Billy White, whoever came out and did my roof, and to keep that. A lot of times the homeowners are like, I don't need that. But if the agents are saying, hey, they're asking, the companies are asking for verification, but if the homeowner has that verification, then if it comes to claim time, they can say, I replaced the roof in 2017, let's use the formula accordingly, I guess.
I think people should get an agent that knows their name. Don't you?
Yeah.
and that's the best way to do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? That's the beauty of small businesses. You guys know a lot. You guys know your accounts. You know their personal situations, and you try and be there for them.
Yeah, yes, no, I would agree 100%. I've always told people, as long as you know and trust somebody, hey, you're good.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to help you any way I can, but
Yeah.
if you know your person and can have a conversation with them, and it's not online, you can
Sure.
you can be able to talk about those things.
You know our kids are in the same class?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I did.
I think your son stole a couple of Oreo cookies from my daughter yesterday.
That would not surprise me. You got to keep an eye on them.
So the weather, that's a big determinant on rates, availability of coverage. What are the other things, particularly when you look at maybe the commercial market that are going to be affecting rates and availability of coverage this year?
Yeah, I think the same thing holds true really with, they're kind of calling it a hard market in the commercial world. There's not companies, they have two difference, hard market, soft market. Soft market, every insurance company out there wants to write this, large downtown older building. Harder market, there's a lot of companies out there that are saying, no, we don't want it anymore. If you don't have an updated roof or a roof that's, 5 years or newer or 10 years or newer, we don't want to touch it. And it's because, I hate to keep going back to the weather, but I think a lot of it is that, they're paying out more and more. So, hopefully rates overall are going to start leveling out. We'd love for that to happen. Again, it depends on the weather and how things pan out with that and how much they're paying out. It's a highly regulated industry, and the insurance companies have to prove that there are losses for them to increase rates, and they have been, unfortunately, increasing rates the last few years. But I think they've all gone up, and we're hoping, or I think we're all crossing our fingers that we might level things out here end of 2025 and see what things look like.
So for those in tough markets like or all of California, all of Florida, there's not, you don't see any change, that we're going to keep going down this road where there's less and less options for coverage for people that live in those areas.
Yeah. The insurance companies just don't want to go down there and lose money.
Right.
I think that they'll get to a point where the states, like you said, mandatory, state funds or something like that, or you can go through the state to get coverage. But there's not a lot of companies that want to go out there and knowing that there's going to be a fire out there in the next 5 years, or there's going to be a hurricane every.
Well,
3
MLL Insurance, they have all kinds of great products and services. And Chris, I know that you'd love to hear from our viewers. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Chris Cook from MLL Insurance. More of the morning show after this.